Welcome to the new video. Before starting video, remind you to like, share, and subscribe this video and channel as well. Let's explore about one of the 21 finalists' 7 wonders of the world, Sydney Opera House. The Sydney Opera House is a multi-venue performing arts centre in Sydney, Australia. It was almost named the Utzon Opera. It is one of the 20th century's most famous and distinctive buildings, covers an area of 4.4 acres and 67 meters tall, designed to be earthquake-proof. The OperaHouse WSA, designed by Danish architect Jørn Utzon, the building was formally opened on 20 October 1973, after a gestation beginning with Utzon's 1957 selection as winner of an international design competition. The building's construction took 14 years to complete, from 1959 to 1973, and it's originally estimated to cost $7 million to build, but ended up costing over $100 million. It was largely paid for by a state lottery, and construction involved 10,000 construction workers. The building's construction was delayed by several years due to funding issues and construction difficulties. The government of New South Wales, led by the Premier Joseph Cahill, authorized work to begin in 1958, with Utzon directing construction. The government's decision to build Utzon's design is often overshadowed by circumstances that followed, including cost and scheduling overruns, as well as the architect's ultimate resignation. The building and its surrounds occupy the whole of Bennelong Point in Sydney Harbour, between Sydney Cove and Farm Cove, adjacent to the Sydney Central Business District and the Royal Botanic Gardens, and close by the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Sydney Opera House sits on Bennelong Point. Bennelong Point was named after Woollera Warre Bennelong, a senior Eora man at the time of the arrival of British colonizers in Australia in 1788. The building is famous for its distinctive sail-like design, which has become an iconic symbol of both Sydney and Australia. The building is made up of over 1 million tiles, which were manufactured in Sweden. The tiles on the roof of the Sydney Opera House are self-cleaning. The Sydney Opera House was officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II on October 20, 1973. The Sydney Opera House is one of the most recognizable buildings in the world. The building's design was inspired by the sails of a ship. The largest performance space in the Sydney Opera House is the concert hall, which can seat up to 2,679 people. The smallest performance space in the Sydney Opera House is the Utzon Room, which can seat up to 210 people, and Opera House has a total of 1,000 rooms. Though its name suggests a single venue, the building comprises multiple performance venues, which together are among the busiest performing arts centers, hosting well over 1,500 performances annually, attended by more than 1.2 million people. Performances are presented by numerous performing artists, including 4 resident companies: Opera Australia, the Australian Ballet, the Sydney Theatre Company, and the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. The first performance in the Sydney Opera House was by the Australian Opera on September 28, 1973, and hosts over 2,000 events each year. Opera House has a total of 10 elevators and has a total of 580 steps. The Opera House is so big that 8 Boeing 747s can fit wing to wing inside it. It's little wonder, then, that the venue also houses one of Australia's premier restaurants, Bennelong. The building's original color was cream, but it has since been changed to a brighter white. The building's original design included a helipad, but it was later removed due to safety concerns. The exterior of the Opera House is covered in over 1 million white glazed ceramic tiles. The tiles are a symbol of the building's unique design and its place in modernist architecture. The Sydney Opera House has been used as a filming location for several movies, including The Matrix and Mission Impossible 2. The Sydney Opera House is one of the most photographed buildings in the world, and Opera House has been featured on many stamps, coins, and banknotes in Australia. The Sydney Opera House was designed to be a place where people could come together and enjoy the arts, regardless of their background or culture. The Sydney Opera House has a restaurant that rotates 360 degrees, giving diners a panoramic view of the harbour, and hosts a free outdoor music festival called Symphony Under the Stars each year. The Sydney Opera House is a symbol of Australian culture and is recognized all over the world as an architectural masterpiece. In 2007, the Sydney Opera House was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in recognition of its cultural significance and architectural excellence. One of the most notable features of the Sydney Opera House is its unique roof design. The shells that make up the roof are supported by a series of massive concrete pylons, which are shaped like a tripod. There are some legends that suggest that the Sydney Opera House is haunted by ghosts. Some people claim to have seen ghostly apparitions or heard strange noises in the building, particularly in the more remote areas such as the roof and backstage areas. Legend suggests that there are secret tunnels beneath the Sydney Opera House that connect the building to other parts of Sydney. Some versions of this legend suggest that the tunnels were used to transport performers and VIPs in secret, while others suggest that they were used as escape routes during emergencies. As one of the most popular visitor attractions in Australia, more than 10 million people visit the site annually, and approximately 350,000 visitors take a guided tour of the building each year. The building is managed by the Sydney Opera House Trust, an agency of the New South Wales state government. On 28 June 2007, the Sydney Opera House became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Overall, the design of the Sydney Opera House is a masterful blend of art and engineering. It is a testament to the vision of its architect, Jørn Utzon, and a symbol of Australia's rich cultural heritage. The Sydney Opera House is the symbol of modern Australia. A World Heritage-listed masterpiece of human creative genius, it exists because a few brave people dared to think differently. From conception to completion, the building tested the limits of engineering, construction, and design. The Sydney Opera House is a building that changed the image of an entire country. Paul Keating, former Australian Prime Minister. These are some most important highlights and famous facts about the Sydney Opera House. To know more, viewers have to research more or schedule for the visit and explore it. Thank you for watching. Keep watching, keep learning, like, share, and subscribe.